So I think anyone has got any feeling about footballers or things that go wrong for you, your heart goes out to Kevin. You know, to be in the 23-1 minute and then taken away from you at the last moment is heartbreaking. You know, when you think about the season that he's had with injuries, been relegated with Wolves, and then to have this put on you as well, I tell you what, he's got to be strong mentally next season. You know, to come out and actually, you know, get on with his football. I was in a position in 1990 where it happened to Gary Wadham. We were playing in Turkey and we were on our way to Malta. We actually had a stop off. I can't remember if it was in Athens or in Cyprus. And Alan McLaughlin actually came over on the plane, and then Gary got on the plane that was taking them back to England. Now, as players, you know, it was gut-wrenching for us. As players, watching one of your teammates who'd been with you going back, what did it feel like for Gary? You know, when he's getting on the plane on his own, going back, sitting there, going through his head at 1,000,000 miles an hour, you know, why me? You know, why did that happen to me? Kevin will be going through the exact same emotions as Gary went through. He's sad, it's part of football, unfortunately. Is there a good way or a bad way to be told? Absolutely. I wasn't there, I'm not privy to exactly what's going on, but it looked bad, it did look bad, and my heart really goes out to Kevin at the moment, and I just hope, I really hope, that it doesn't affect his career, because I did definitely think it affected Gary's career. I definitely believe it.
I wasn't there, but I know what happened, and what happened was wrong. First of all, he named his, he pared it down to 23 a week before he had to. That was number one mistake. And he did a detail he screwed up on, right? Then he insisted that Foley was injured before the Bosnia game. So he wouldn't play him because he wanted to be dishonest. He wanted the kid to be seen to be an injury doubt. And Foley was telling
but you can't say that, Eamon. There's no justification for making it. That's a conspiracy theory.
It's on the public record, Bill, if you don't mind.
I don't think not like that.
It's called newspapers. Yeah, it was in the newspaper. Now, what happened was Foley.
There's no reference to dishonest.
I don't think, Bill, that you were aware of the facts. And when the story plays out, you'll understand why Foley was so upset. It wasn't just upset that he wasn't going. He was upset at the way it was done. He wasn't allowed to train on the Thursday and the Friday before the Bosnia match, although he told the manager he was fit and ready to go and good to go for the Bosnia game. The manager, for his own political reasons, didn't want him to play in the Bosnia game to prove his fitness. Because up the manager's sleeve, he had this little card, this little problem. And he wanted to bring McShane. Now, why he wants to bring McShane is another thing. No, I know that. I wouldn't have McShane around the place. He's already cost his qualification for the World Cup finals with the Henry business. Now, that's what he did. And it's either he wasn't paying attention to the detail or he was sneaky. Probably both.
Any other comment on that?
Well, look, listen, there was a major problem with the centre-halves, whether you believe it or not. There was problems with the centre-halves. St Ledger had an injury going into the Bosnia game.
But he had two covering, hadn't he?
Well, no, he didn't. He had Richard Dunn, who was injured. He had St Ledger, apparently he was injured. He had O'Dean. He had John O'Shea, who was injured. So then you've got to start quantifying why you want to take a centre-half or a right-back. He thought he was going to take a centre-half. That's up to, he's got to pick. It's a hard decision. Listen, I don't know the amount of money, Eamon says what money he was on. When you pay that amount of money, regardless if you paid £1 or whatever, 10 million quid, whatever it may be, you are paid to make decisions. And they're going to be the decisions that are not going to go in people's favours, that you're going to upset people, and some that you're not. But football's not a game of sentiment, and it shouldn't be a game of sentiment. He should be getting the best players there, in my opinion, are going to be to do the best for the country. And if he believes McShane's a better option than Kevin Foley, that's his decision. We may not agree with that.
So you say it was not a political decision, it was a football decision.
Well, that's the way with the injuries he had at centre-halves, he felt it was a better option to have another centre-half there. And Kevin Foley's a right-back midfielder than someone who plays at centre-half. That's how I read it. Maybe off the mark, that's how I read it.
There were definite injuries to key players. Right forward.
Foley insisted on playing in the match on Monday night in Italy to prove that what was being said about him was untrue.
That was his
How
view.
clear do I have to be?
No,
and that was what.
Yeah, that's what he said, Eamon. You know, that may not be the actual facts.
So Foley wasn't telling the truth.
Foley felt he was, as you said, betrayed. I think it's a fair point that he felt betrayed that he'd been told to take it easy.
Paul, the question is simple. Was he fit on the Thursday before the Bosnia game to play? because the manager said he wasn't.
I don't remember him saying that in the press. And I was
Kevin Foley has told the press in an open press conference.
He said it subsequently.
That the manager told him not to train.
He told him
because
he told him to take it easy and gradually get into the training the following week. By that stage, the problems of the two centre halves had deepened. There was a problem with both O'D. Sorry, there was three of them: O'D, Dunn, and St. Ledger. And you also had the other covering centre halves, O'Shea, had the worst of those 4 injuries. So he had to take. I think he took a football decision. I think some of the way he went about it wasn't maybe the right way.
Did he name the 23 too early?
Debatable, possibly. That he should have made a larger squad. He should have maybe 28, and then put it straight. But he believes you damage the players less if you do the 23 plus the standby. I think it's open to debate.
I think if you end up changing the squad and do what you did to Kevin Foley, then yeah, you did. There's no doubt that you named the squad too early. He's been criticised earlier and in conversation that he doesn't ever change and he's too stuck in his ways. Here he made a managerial decision. I think the way that Kevin Foley was treated, I think it's appalling.
But what about Kevin Foley's response? Was very inflammatory, wasn't it?
No, it's not.
Give us a break, Bill.
It's in the heat of the moment, Bill.
Jesus Christ. He in Albania or something?
He needs his advisors to just tell him, say nothing. He can't win. There's nothing he can say to explain it. He's going to feel. How many more chances will Kevin Foley have to play in a major tournament for Ireland? It was shocking. But there are, as a manager, you look at some players and they get injured, and you think, oh, we really need this guy, and you'll do everything. You send him to every medical opinion. And there's other guys, you kind of look at how things are going, you think, my God, maybe I made a mistake there, and they show any sign of injury, and you won't be able to make it. That's just a job. He's entitled to make the decision.
I'm getting drowned out here by apologies for this manager. Here's what happened, right? A little detail. Instead of doing what every other manager did and naming 28, 29 players and giving himself time for injuries to happen or strains or things to emerge.
Big deal. He's named the squad too early. Big deal.
Well, hold on. Here's the consequence for one of his players. The player thinks he's in the 23 and he is. So he books tickets for his parents, for his family to travel to Poland. He books hotels, he gets everything sorted, and then he's left flat on his face. I think that's a little detail that Trapattoni should have thought of. I think you got it wrong. And if you keep telling the Irish public and everyone in your team that it's all about you and you've got to teach people how to deal with the little details, but then you better get the little details right yourself.
Eamon, come on, let's be honest about it.
I am being fucking honest.
I
don't think you are right. I don't think you know what you're talking about. I don't think you knew. Did you know he wasn't training last week? Do you know the background to this story?
Let him answer, Eamon.
I spoke to Kevin Foley, but you didn't because you were in the studio watching. I was there actually talking to the lad. So let me tell you that for a start. The game against Bosnia, I was downstairs talking to Kevin Foley before the game. He said, I'm hoping to train in the next couple of days. Yeah. That's what he said. I said, how's your hamstring? He said, I think it's not too bad. I'm hoping to start training in the next couple of days. That's a fact. That's the fella, the lad and me having a conversation.
So what's the new fact?
Hang on a second. I also spoke to Trapattoni and he said before the game against Bosnia, I can't play both St. Ledger and Dunn because there's a problem with them and I can't take the chance of one of them getting injured. So now he's got a problem in his head. What he do? Did he pick the 23 too early? Maybe. That was his decision to do it. Whether you think it's the right thing to do or not, is entirely up to you. You're entitled to your opinion. But if you're a 28, you still got to tell 5 people they're not going to go. The problem started and stemmed from the fact that this kid thought he was part of the 23 and it was taken away from him. That's why I haven't got a problem with his reaction when he feels that he's betrayed. Well, because I don't know how I would react in a situation that 1 minute I've got my gear, I've got my boots, I've got all my number.
Well, I'm not saying you shouldn't have reacted. I think the words are very inflammatory against a coach like Trapattoni.
Okay, it might be, but the fact is, you've got to put yourself in his situation where he feels he's going 1 minute in a way. So his reaction at that moment, he might have felt that he was betrayed. I ain't got a problem with that. But to turn around and say what's right and what's wrong about you should name 32 or name 23, that's down to the individual and how he sees it as a manager and what he wants to do. You might have done it differently, Pat might have done it differently, I might have done it differently. At the end of the day, he's the manager, he picks 23 to go and represent Ireland, and that's what he's done. And it's right or wrong, that's what he's done. He's the manager, not us.
Well then, if he's the manager and we can't question what he does, which is how many times have you said that tonight? You said it about 5 times.
Well, I'm saying is that
you said our conversation's redundant.
I didn't say,
Why aren't
No,
they at home?
I can't
in the telly?
Eamon, you can't question, but you can comment.
Not question,
comment. You're getting an opinion, but then your opinion's not going to change Trapattoni. He's not going to be sitting there going, I wonder what Eamon Dunphy's saying tonight. Oh, Eamon said I've got to pick him, I'm going to go and pick him because Eamon said it. Or actually, Pat said that, so I'm going to go do it.
Well, hold on a minute. Another of his characteristics, and again it's on the public record, maybe you did see it, maybe you didn't. Maybe you're doing it by DVD. He held a press conference. He held a press conference, and he criticised the journalists, and he had who were criticising him over Kevin Foley. And he said it's easy to write. Anybody can write. It's no big deal. We have to do a serious job of work. That's wrong. It's disrespectful, and it's arrogant. And if you want to be arrogant, Ray, you have to fucking get it right. All the time. Get all the little details. There's so many things arisen here tonight that he's done wrong. Not looking at players, not informing players, not being aware of players, screwing up with the way he named his squad. And I could go on and on and on.
Well, so, if you're going to play devil's advocate...
I'm not playing devil's advocate, I'm telling you the truth.
If you're playing devil's advocate, you're having a go at him for actually looking at DVDs and making assumptions about players and what they... As pundits, we do exactly the same. We question players who play, not by going to games, by sitting watching on the telly and then saying he's no good, he's no good, he's no good.
Well,
on the assumption of what we're
unfortunately, Ray, none of us have the gift of bilocation. So you can't be an analyst for RTE.
Go to games,
be at the match.
Go to games, and then form your opinion after going to games. That'd be a better do it. That's what you're asking Trapattoni to do. It's pundits. That's what
I'm not getting paid. Hold on, Ray. It's just. That's a cheap shot, incidentally. It's a cheap shot. No, you get your cheap shot. You don't know how much you get paid, don't you?
Eamon, cool it.
No, I won't cool it. No, that's a cheap shot. How can you watch the game when you're in the studio?
Listen, people are playing.
It's a cheap shot.
Hang on a second. You're saying about opinions that you're making an opinion about him. I said there were people be out there and make that opinion about us as pundits. I put myself in that, not just you, by the way. I said us as pundits, not you, us, if you actually listen to the words. That's where people are actually level against us as pundits.
Nobody levels that against us.
I think there are people out there, and I'll tell you what, the players level against us as well.
That's understandable, isn't it?
I'm understanding the players will say
Let me finish.
As us as pundits, giving their opinion on players.
He's the highest paid manager in Europe.
No, he's not.
One off. The English manager was high paid, Capello. Bilic, who manages Croatia, was on 50 grand a year when he got into the semi-final of the Euros last time out. This guy's getting a fortune. He won't. He delegates to Mick Martin and Frank Stapleton scouting reports. Mick Martin goes and watches the opposition. So he won't do it because... Now, we should demand more of the coach, the national coach. If you see Capello when he was in England, he'd be at 3 matches at the weekend. You'd see him on a Saturday, you'd see him on a Sunday, you'd see him on Monday night at Anfield. He was all over it. And he had his people all over it as well.
Didn't do much any good though,
No, there's a way of doing the job and there's a standard for doing the job. And there's nothing wrong with people sitting in a bar or in their own living room discussing and arguing football. Because I'll tell you why, Ray, there wouldn't be any money for pundits or footballers if people weren't doing that. And that's what we're doing here. So don't be giving us the regime speak all the time.
I didn't say that. What I said was...
Everyone...
We've all got opinions. We've all got opinions. And we're all entitled... I've said that. How many times have I said that? Anyone listen? I said, and we're all entitled to our opinion. All I've said was there's one man that is given the power to pick the team. You can't pick the team as much as we'd all love to change the team. I'd love to change the squad. I'd love to play in a different way. I can't do it. My opinion's not going to change it. There's only that man that can do it because he's the manager.
We shouldn't talk about it.
No, I didn't say once again, you're not listening to me. We can't talk as much as we want. Yeah, well, you might be pissed off because
you know something, Ray?
Ray, I'll tell you what, I've been there.
Ray, I'm dead sorry you're going to Poland. I'm sorry you're going to Poland. It's an awful pity you're not in the studio.